Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So one of the most important things to keep in mind is not what the author or speaker says, but how the author or speaker says it and why it is so effective or ineffective. Once you get beyond the main ideas and supporting details, consider, analyze, and evaluate the effectiveness of what the author or speaker does, specifically in the monkey's paw, which you are going to read today. Just a reminder, please email me if you have any questions. If you are watching this video, it's because I didn't make it back in time. I had an appointment early this morning, so please feel free to email me if you have questions. I'm happy to help. A little background on the author of The Monkey's Paw. It is W.W. Jacobs. And remember, when we're looking at the author's purpose, oftentimes we get clues about an author's purpose from his or her background. So W.W. Jacobs, first of all, lived a long time ago, 1863 to 1943. So that's going to give us some indications as to the fact that life was very different back then. People used their imagination a lot. There was a lot of oral storytelling traditions, urban legends, those kind of things. Superstitions were very big in that time. He lived in London. His house was near the docks, and he wrote about tales he heard from sailors who embellished true stories and fabricated things. His stories are about everyday life disrupted by strange and fantastic events. Oftentimes, the author is trying to accomplish multiple outcomes. So when you are reading, think about, what is the author's purpose? Is it to persuade, to convince the reader to think or do something, to inform, to give or teach information about a topic, or to entertain, to tell a story that you will enjoy? And it could be more than one of those. While Jacobs is best known for his horror story, The Monkey's Paw, his body of larger work is known for its humor. His father worked as a dockhand and wharf manager on the South Devon Wharf in England. Jacobs seems to draw heavily upon his father's experiences working at the docks. He tells a lot about the working class and the struggle of poverty. His stories often feature the adventures of wayward seamen and mariners working themselves in and out of precarious predicaments. W.W. Jacobs has become the favorite short story writer of many people. So if you are an enthusiastic reader of short stories, you should definitely check out some of his other story collections. He's written a plethora. His stories are consistently well written and often of a really short length, so they only take about 15 minutes to read. So if you do like short stories, you might want to check out some of his other works. As you read, be mindful of the following essential questions. What kind of style and tone is used and for what purpose by the author? What is the main idea or the assertion of the text? What are two different ways in which the author and speaker supports the main idea? How does the author or speaker establish ethos in the text? And how does the author or speaker appeal to reason? Answer true or false to the following. Obviously, I'm not there with you, so you'll just have to do this in your head. One should be content with his or her life as it is. Do you agree or disagree with that statement? Do you think that's true or false? People should not play games with fate. Do you agree or disagree with that? Nothing ever given is free. So a little background on the story, and obviously those true or false or agree, disagree questions were just to get you anticipating and excited about the story. And also to be thinking about, what could it possibly be about? Does it have to do with fate and recurring themes in literature such as man's struggle for meaning? So a little background, an airy object arrives in England from India. India was a British colony from the 1700s until 1947. Lots of information and misinformation came from British soldiers about India's culture, and India was represented as mysterious and of the supernatural. The rhetoric of Monkey's Paw. As we read, think about the message and authorial purpose. What do you think, or why do you think the author wrote this? Who is the intended audience? Obviously, what's the message? So keep in mind soapstone. If you had me last semester, you'll remember this. Subject, occasion, audience, purpose, speaker, tone, organization. Who's the narrator? Are they reliable or unreliable? Is it first person, third person? And what evidence does the author put forth as well? And that is it. You are going to have class time now to read the story. I did put a link to a really good audio, but feel free to read it silently if that works better for you. A lot of my students like the audio and find it helpful. So I did put the link in your notes, and email me if you have any questions. Thanks.